Hi, this is Mod. Before I start talking, I want to clarify some things. First is that this is a video without the script, so I want to apologize for my very broken English and bad pronunciation. I'm going to try to talk as slow as possible. And second is that I am not a pro player, I am an intermediate level player, so basically take my opinions in this patch notes as a grain of salt. I mean, literally, last month I managed to head into the Fuji rank, so you know I am not an expert. So, yeah, and also, as a side note, before I start, is that this is a video I'm making quick because this is a topic I am very passionate about. So, this is not a new standard or a new way to make videos. I will try to make as high quality videos as I can with my very short experience in this field. So yeah, this is also an apology for this very bad quality video and bad structure. So well, after all of this, I feel like we can start talking about this whole mess. So to not make the story really long, because there's a lot of video talking about it, basically in March, in Tekken Talk, they talk about the fact that in this season 2 they are going to focus a lot on defense. So you know, a lot of people were happy about it because, I mean, I'm not going to talk deeply about it, but I mean, let's say that the hit mechanic is a little bit overtuned. I really feel like they should force you to build your own hit engager instead of give you free each round. But okay, but later, a week later, in another Tekken stream, they show this. Yeah, they buffed King again, and they nerfed Jin used to buff it again. Oh my god. So a lot of people were kinda critical about it because you say you're going to buff defense, but as we see now, throw tech does chip damage. So what's going on? So basically, it was this back and forth between the community because quickly enough, the dev team say that they're going to fix these issues mid-May, before May. And you know, a lot of people were still skeptical about it because, I mean, we just saw that throw breaks now do chip damage. So a lot of people were kinda saying that, okay, you know what, let's see what the patch actually is before we make some statements. And then the patch comes out and yeah, it's a really whole mess. It's very awful. I'm not going to lie, it's very awful, this patch. So basically, they don't only buff King, but they buff everyone. Every character is now top tier, except Lee for some fucking reason. So basically now every character, to put it short, every character now can do mixups. They can do stances to fork another mixups. They buffed a lot side steps, so you can feel the differences between season 1 and season 2, but good luck trying to use side step because now every move tracks. And I mentioned I said stances because almost every character can do stances. Even Brayan can do stances. What the fuck, guys? So like I say, I am not a pro player, so there's a lot of people more qualified to talk more indeed about these patch changes. So I will recommend looking for FitDX and the main man, because they talk more in depth about these changes and what are the core problems. But back to the topic, I mean, you don't have to be a good player to see this and say, yeah, this is a really full change, because basically the defense that was the main point of this patch is non-existent. I mean, how do you going to sidestep or even do something if now every character can do mix-ups and a lot of cheat damage? I mean, what do you do? You are almost forced to attack, and you can see these problems at full displays with Jack 8. Now, Jack 8 can do a loop where you eat a lot of chip damage. It's just insane. This is something that makes my head scratch. But something that scratches my head is that this patch essentially ruins the core gameplay of Tekken. Let me explain for a little bit. Now, let's go back in time and let's see Dragon Ball FighterZ. This game has a history of being very unbalanced. I mean, they tried its hardest to balance the game, but you know, DRMs, Super Gogeta Saiyajin 4, Android 21 lab code, we're going to head into her in 1 minute. So, see, this game has his high tiers and his low bottoms. But here's something, is that the only instance that the core gameplay was ruined in Dragon Ball FighterZ was the launch of Android 21, because Android 21 lab code has a special move that basically puts a permanent debuff in your opponent. Yeah, a permanent debuff like in some kind of RPG. Basically, she was the incinerator of Dragon Ball FighterZ. Basically, she would put an intimidated, and now you has a very low damage. And you know, in Pokemon, you will usually switch out or use Wild Earth. Now, here you get fucked, because basically now you have to, well, try to push a mountain. Basically, this ruins the core gameplay, because one match will usually go around 5 minutes, and with Android 21, now it will last around 20 minutes. Fortunately, she was nerfed, so basically nobody now uses her. In the last moments of life of the game, they launched the final patch, which they buff everyone. Everyone now has some kind of BS. For example, Yamcha has an insane heavy attack, same as Ultra Instinct Goku. Vegito is basically insane, and so on. But you know, unlike the Android 21 patch, basically this patch doesn't ruin the core gameplay, because this is something I want to get into. Is that unlike Tekken 8, Dragon Ball FighterZ at its core is still the same. Now you have to deal with more BS, it's true, it's more bullshit to deal, but you still have your defensive tools. You still have Reflect, your weapon options, insta teletransport console, etc. So on. So you see, basically you still have all the tools intact to deal with BS. I mean, it's kind of more stressful, not going to lie, but at the score, it's like Diet Coke, Marvel vs. Capcom 3. It wasn't the cleanest explanation, but in a nutshell, even though the game is very unbalanced and now every character has some kind of BS, the core gameplay is still intact. You still have all the tools to defend yourself, but you know, the issue is that there's more BS you have to worry about. The issue with Tekken 8 is that basically you no longer have any tools to defend yourself, which is kinda ironic because this was supposedly to be the defense patch. So you know, they both sidestep. You can feel how smooth the sidestep is now, but the issue is that now in this patch they also include a lot of tracking modes, which honestly kinda defeats the point of having a sidestep in the first place. And now any character can do a 50-50, which is also very bad, because look, 50-50, it isn't necessarily a bad thing, but the issue is when every 50-50 becomes like a flip coin. You have to flip the coin constantly and see if you're lucky enough to not get just punished for guessing wrong. Also the fact that now every character has a mix-up but also has a fourth time position, which kinda ruins the identity of every character, because I mean, one of the most comparison you're gonna see is that every character now is Lydia, which honestly I totally agree. which is kinda sad because Lydia has her clear weakness. First of all, the neutral gameplay kinda sucks as her. She can have really troubles open up the opponent. Her stances are very easy to punish without hit. And you know, the rush down that everyone complains in Season 1 was because when you finally get your chance to act, you activate your hit and start spamming Hell on Air and doing frame traps. The issue in this patch is that if you take all of this but give Lydia a better tools to do the neutral gameplay and keep insane amount of 50-50 with plus frames, because keep in mind the opponent can still block or even punish it at time. So yeah. So as I said before, the problem with this patch is because it ruins the core gameplay, because now every character kinda loses their identity, because every character now can do a 50-50 or two stances, which kinda defies the point. For example, Steve is a very technical character, same as Lee, both are very technical, but why? I mean, this is kind of where almost makes me worry about where the game is heading towards, because Lee got nerfed to the ground, but at the same time he got balls, but those balls forced into a 50-50 scenario, which is something that Lee isn't supposed to be doing in the first place. Lee is a character that is basically a character who seeks the perfect time to do a counter attack or punish the opponent. Basically that's it. It's a very technical character, but now in this patch is another character that does 50-50. And you know, as I said before, in Dragon Ball Fighter C you have all the tools to defend yourself. In Tekken 8 no longer, because for example, to be fair, they actually buff sidestep, you can feel the major impact, but the issue is now every character can use YOLO, the neutral gameplay, and also now every attack also tracks. Most of their 50-50 or stances are plus frames, so good luck trying to sidestep when your opponent is on plus frames. And holy shit, I mean, Lockdown 21 was really bad, but Check 8 is just why? Because there's no counterplay against it. I mean, yeah, you can power crush, but you lose a ton of health, so basically in that interaction the Jack player still wins. And you can see in this graph that Jack player Skype a lot, like is now one of the highest most player used in this in this short season, which is honestly insane. I mean, I don't watch a lot of tournaments, but the last one I saw is just you can see just Jack A just spamming the same string over and over again, and the poor Hachi player is forced to do power crush and try to cross finger that he doesn't have grab mid power crush, which yeah, it ruins the core gameplay a lot. So basically you no longer have any defensive tools, and now every character you play is forced to do the same playstyle for 50-50 and do stances and just basically smash buttons and do an insane combo to tap the enemy. As I said before, I want to say sorry that I'm sounding like a broken record, but yeah, it's like you no longer have any tools to defend yourself in Tekken 8, and now you are forced to play a playstyle that every character possesses. So you no longer are playing as Nina, as for example now you're playing Lydia version Spy, which like I say, I want to apologize because I'm doing this video in one sitting, so yeah. But this brings the question, why didn't change this? Because look, if you want to make Dragon Ball Fighter C into a party game, I can totally understand it, because for example Budokai Tenkaichi 3 was also a very casual gameplay, also the same as Parking Zero, because you know Dragon Ball is a very popular franchise. Like, you can ask your grandmother and she's going to say, yeah, that's Goku. And but like, why in Tekken? Especially it makes me really worried because it's season 2. The game has only 1 year of life. In Dragon Ball FighterZ, I can understand going just saying fuck it in the last patch of the game because, you know, the Axis Studios is going to move out to other projects and Bandai Namco probably is, you know, Bandai Namco is hoping that Sparking Zero is out. So, you know, it's understandable that they want to make the game more casual or something like that. Something that I don't agree, but you know, I can see why they made a patch as the last one. But the Tekken 8 is like, I don't get it because, I mean, from these roots, Tekken is basically a very technical game. I mean, yeah, you can enjoy the gameplay in a casual way, but at this core, if you want to really get good, you have to learn a lot of fundamentals. It's like, I don't understand why they're making this because making the game 50-50, it isn't also fun. I'm not going to lie. If my opponent is baiting the shit out of me and only because I guess wrong, I mean, I would probably just quit the game, even if I was so casual, because, I mean, what would you say to a casual player or a new player? What is the best strategy against Jack 8? I mean, what would you say to him against Howard, for example? You see this is the issue because they want to make the game more casual, but at the same time, it is very friendly casual because, yeah, you can win smashing buttons, but you can lose because the enemy just smash buttons in a different way, which it isn't fun, even for a casual or a weekend game plan. To give you a better idea of what I'm trying to explain here, let's take for example Team Fortress 2. Now, if I hope you know what game I'm talking about, but if you don't know for some reason, I will tell you real quick. Basically in Team Fortress 2 there are 9 classes with unique traits and weakness. Let's take for example the Spy. The Spy gameplay is basically he sneaks in the shadows and backstabs the opponent and tries to take down the Engineer, which is a very important class in the defensive gameplay, and the Medic, which is the most important class of all the game because the Medic has the Overcharge. The Overcharge gives any character an invulnerability time, which is pretty much a game changer. It can turn a match into a losing one into a winning one. Okay, so you know, but also the Spy has clear weakness. Basically, it only relies on its disguises, which it can be really easy to spot. The clock time has a really short range, and he's very weak to fire. But also the fact that even if he managed to hit the backstab on a medic, he has to find a way to escape from the scenario because now everyone wants him dead. Okay, as I say, those are his weakness. Now, imagine that tomorrow the game got updated and now the Spy has these buffs. The Spy has now invulnerability against fire. Basically, the clock works the same as the death trigger. Now you can do basically backstabs from any range. You can also do headshots from any range, with more damage. The clock time is also infinite and doesn't make sounds when it's off. You see where I'm going. You see that even if for a casual gameplay, those type of changes just makes the game non-fun. And now imagine that, for example, every character now has a tool to do headshots, the same as the sniper. So what's the point of having the sniper in the first place? Is now every character can do headshots. I mean, by the way, this is not a statement against the ambassador, but it's more like a scenario where every character loses their identity. I mean, that's the issue what's going on in Tekken 8. It's no longer fun for casual at the sacrifice of its core gameplay and identity. So, you know, it's easy to criticize, so what solution I would recommend? Look, I don't understand game developing, I'm going to be honest, so I understand that those changes is going to take more time than other. So basically, one base of work I would advise is basically revert all of it to season 1. All of it. Basically leave Anna's the way it is because, well, Anna's just launched in season 2, but you know, just revert everything to season 1 and work for it because honestly, I see really hard to literally balance the game after this patch because everyone is overtuned. So the solution will be or use undertune everything or use hit a brain dead defense system, which honestly is also a no-go. And you know, because I say that because I mean, I don't think any patch or balance changes is going to fix the problem that every character is now a 50-50 into stance playstyle. I mean, that shit needs to get removed. So yeah, honestly, I just hope probably that's the amount of copium that I have that this game gets fixed because, like I said, it's really weird to me this type of drastical changes in just the second year of the game because, as I said before, in Dark Ball Fighter C, after one long decade of just going all of it in the competitive scene, they just hit the final patch now and insane overtune for every character. But you know, what's the last patch when the competitive scene of Dark Ball Fighter C was going downhill? So you know, it's understandable. But the technique is insane because it made they start the doors again. So why they're making this? I mean, it's a game focuses. It's a season focus on casuals, but at the very same time, it also wants to focus in the competitive scene, which you cannot have both of them. I mean, this isn't even like in Smash Bros. Because at least in Smash Bros. The characters have some identity. Because holy shit, I mean, this is bad. Well, I hope you like this video. Honestly, I don't blame you if you don't like this video because this video was really rushed. So basically, this is the last time I'm going to make a video like this. I just want to say my opinions about this situation. So yeah, basically this video was made because of this emergency. Because honestly, I'm just shocked. Probably later on I will launch a video with more detail, but at the same time I doubt it because, as I said before, I am not a pro player, so I'm not qualified to speak about it. So yeah, I hope you liked the video and had a great week. See ya!